What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD. You're back in your place in source, and we are back here with Road to Part 2, the podcast all about Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2. With me, my co-host, my luxurious co-host, Arachknight. How are you doing, my good sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So I say fine. I'm doing more than fine. We just saw Ghost of Tsushima State of Play. That was hot.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. You just took a test. How did that exam go? Did it go all good?
Easy peasy.
You love to see it. You love to see it. And I mean, I guess we'll go right into, have you been playing any games? I know you did say last week that you are rounding out your semester.
I am
for good old escuela. So
yeah. I've been catching up on labs and stuff like that. I've had 10 full packets to do.
Yikes.
And a paper and all that, but I've been still squeezing in time at the end of my nights. I'll do homework for a few hours, I'll go I'll work out, call the missus, and then at the end of the night play games for a few hours. Finished Final Fantasy 7.
I did too.
Yeah,
I did as well.
That was a good time. I've been playing Dishonored 2.
Nice. I actually haven't dipped my toes into Dishonored. Do you think I should? Is that worth it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is one of my favorite stealth games.
Oh, okay. Because the first and second, that's a this gen game, right? That's not that's not previous gen.
Dishonored 1 was PS3. Dishonored 2 is PS4.
Is there a PS4 release of the first one?
I believe so.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that.
I would. I don't know why I feel like there is. You know what? While you're talking, I'm just gonna look it up just for that reason.
And I was playing Doom Eternal and Ultra Nightmare, and I choked on Final Sin.
You said that on the Discord last night, bro.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
Yeah, I choked on the last mission.
So, looking into it, it looks like there is a Dishonored Definitive Edition on PlayStation 4 for $20, released August 25th, 2015. So
it is worth it. Dishonored is I've played a lot of I love stealth games. It's my second favorite genre of games and stuff like that.
Right.
Dishonored is top 3 if not number 1 in my favorites. I've replayed those games to death. They're a good time.
Interesting because there's honestly a lot of Bethesda games that I've wanted to play, just haven't had the opportunity to. I know Prey didn't get a good rap, but
yeah, Prey was okay.
I still want to at least experience Prey.
Yeah, Prey was good. It's worth the experience.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
I mean, yeah, because in terms of Bethesda, my probably by far my favorite is Wolfenstein. I love the Wolfensteins.
Yeah, Wolfenstein's a lot of fun.
Oh, they're so good. I love the Wolfensteins for sure. But maybe I'll dip into Dishonored someday.
I definitely recommend it. I've been playing that. Remnants from the Ashes DLC came out not too long ago. Nice. So me and my buddies have been playing through that. And Predator
Hunting Grounds.
Yes.
You got it. Okay.
Yes,
so that is a second party PlayStation release. Came out a few weeks late April, I believe. April 24th, I think it's top of my head. Something like that. Yeah. So I played the beta and wasn't particularly that impressed. But I am, but I did say in my impressions, video that even though, I'm not the biggest Predator fan, and by not the biggest, I mean I've never seen a Predator movie. You know what I'm saying? That's just not, I just have been exposed to that. But considering the devs behind it were also behind Friday the 13th, and that game had a cult following as well. I assumed that of course this one would, this game would find its footing and find its community, and it seems like it has, which is great to hear. So. Yeah.
I've never watched. I only watched one of the Predator movies.
And
that was a long time ago. I'm not a huge Predator guy, but one of my buddies, he bought it and he recommended it, and we were just looking for games to play, just chill games to play.
Right.
And it's sure, yeah, why not? Because it's $40. It's not a full AAA release.
Yeah.
So it's sure, okay. So we bought it. We played it for a few hours. It's yeah, we'll play for a little bit. and we ended up syncing like we played for like 6 hours one day.
Nice.
And it's fun, like, because the missions are a little bland and stuff like that, but you don't play it for that. You play it to like kill or be killed by the predator. And my very first game, like, we demolished the predator. It was a lot of fun to like hunt him down.
That's nice. Good to hear.
Yeah, it's a chill game. It's not like it's definitely not my game of the year, but it's just a fun time. Like Friday the 13th was clunky and janky, but it was still a really fun time.
Right. Like, I mean, after I played the beta, I was pretty sold. I'm like, all right, like I'm probably not gonna get this game. But after seeing like a lot of people just having just pure fun with the game, you know, in spite of like its you know, jank feeling of the game, that like definitely, you know, to be in the most respectful way possible, of course, you know, that like AA, maybe even single A type of, you know, feel to the game. There seems to be a lot of fun that is still being had with the game, and they put out that roadmap as well for DLC, and they're adding wasn't it Dutch? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Dutch?
Yeah, I believe it's Dutch.
Yeah. So sounds like they're, I mean, at least still supporting it for the next few months and stuff like that. And I know Friday the 13th infamously like had pretty good support for the game post launch, but then there was issues with licensing that made them stop updating the game, I think.
Yeah, they have the stuff done. It's just that legal battle that's stopping them from releasing it.
It's trash.
I loved Friday. I played Friday a lot back when it released in like 2017.
Right.
And I was sad to see it go.
Hey, I mean, you know what? I mean, because it's what, $40 on PlayStation Store? I think?
Predator?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's 40.
Honestly, I'm kind of debating on just getting it.
It's crossplay too, so if
with
you want, I
PC, right?
Yeah.
Oh snap!
Like if you and I ever wanted to play it, like I could play on PC and you could be on PlayStation.
Are we about to hunt that predator? You know what?
Yeah.
I will consider it.
It's a fun time. Yeah. It's a fun time. Like you can sink a few hours at the end of the night. Like you don't expect it to be because you know it's a Predator game, but it's pretty chill. Like you just kill the AI, you do the objective, you hunt down the predator, and it can go from like 0 to 100 real quick.
Right. Interesting.
Like there are some predators that are kind of bad, and it's kind of like beating up a kid. But
stealing candy from a kiddo.
Yeah, and other times like you get demolished. Like I walked into like one of my very like my third game pretty cocky because the first two like I killed the predator, and then he demolished us like in the start of the round.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's fun, but
good to hear. I mean, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's like speaking of games, like what have you been playing?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm trying. So, beat Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Love and hate to hear it.
I tell you, listen, I'm gonna now. Of course, a review is in the works for this game, right? And I really have to kind of tackle this game. I feel like in a different format from everyone else reviewing Final Fantasy VII, because the overwhelming majority, I feel like, of reviews are people that have played the original, right? And it's just me. You know, this is my first go at Final Fantasy VII story. So coming at it from a newcomer's perspective and just solely on the remake without having context, it's gonna be probably a little bit interesting to see how people receive my review, but that's of course in the works. But I think I can definitively say the last boss battle, right? So I got to it on a Saturday night, right? I was like, you know what? I think it's time. Like, I love Final Fantasy VII. I've been loving it so much. I've been kind of just prolonging that experience, but I think it's time. You know, all the good things must come to an end. You know, so I was like, let's just do this thing. I get to the last boss battle, and a very formidable opponent, very, very tough boss fight, and for those that are fans of the channel and been following it, and I'm pretty sure you know this as well, my all-time favorite boss fight is Arkham Origins with the Deathstroke fight.
Yeah.
By far my favorite boss fight in any game of all. It's so sad. Such a good boss fight, right? This one is a close second.
Ooh.
A close second. I really had a lot of fun. Even the first time when I was getting my ass handed to me, right? You know, it was more like, all right, you know what, Kev? Let's just hang up the towel for tonight. You know, let's just ponder it. Let's let the mind subconsciously think about it during its REM sleep. You know, and you'll get the fortitude to bring it back the next day. So Sunday, it was Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? Went to work. Saw good old Mama Diaz. Love to see the family. You know what I'm saying?
Love to see the family.
And then on the way home, I was like, you know what? I was getting a little hype. I was playing a little Final Fantasy 7 remake music in my car on the way home. I was like, I'm gonna do this. The
bombing mission is so good.
I'm gonna do this. Let's go. You know, like let's do this. And it took me like 45 minutes, but I finally beat it. Finally saw the end. It was a great boss battle. I have a lot of questions as to what exactly was that ending. A lot of it seems like there was a lot of elements from Crisis Core that I like. Zach
have
seems
you been
cool.
reading into it?
No, I haven't yet, because I am trying to find a way to play Crisis Core, but it's stuck on the PSP PSN store.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how. I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. Right?
Emulator.
Yeah, that's what. Right? Like that's what I'm gonna have to do. I know. I'm gonna have to do that, right? Because I do want to get the full scope of what all that stuff was, but I digress. 587 Remake is amazing. It's currently my game of the year, even though we have some games to talk about here that may overtake that, you know. But it was a great experience. So 587 wrapped up that this week. Other than that, I've been still chipping away at Division 2 Warlords of New York DLC. By the time this goes up, I should have already finished it on stream on JoyClicks. So shout out to that. And I am going to purchase the Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC. And I'm going to jump back in. You know, it's time. I love that game. It's time to get back in there for a little bit. Then I'm not really sure what I'm playing next. I have a few options. You know, of course, we are still playing through God of War 1 on stream, which we are almost wrapping up that, getting onto God of War 2. We're also, of course, playing Last of Us as well, which we will talk about as well at the later end of this episode. But I don't know what I'm playing next. I have a few options, you know. I'm thinking about BioShock, right? Because
play Devil May Cry if you haven't.
The first one?
Play through like DMC 1, 3, 4, and 5 are all really good. Skip 2.
Everyone says skip 2.
Yeah, do yourself a favor.
So funny story about Devil May Cry, real quick, right? I did try to run through the whole series, right?
Right.
But I couldn't get through the final boss of the first Devil May Cry.
I remember you talking about it.
I don't know what it bothers me to this day, right? So maybe I'll just go back to it. I was playing it on PS Now. Maybe I'll go back to it and just finish it off. But I don't know what it was about that final boss. It just broke my brain. You know what I'm saying? So
you're using your devil trigger, right?
I think. I'm pretty sure I was.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Like
I'm not sure.
If you weren't, like,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's how you get through. That's how you get through Phantom.
Yeah, I gotta figure that out. But I'm not sure if I'm going. I'm like looking at my games right now. I think I'm like eyeballing BioShock. I'm eyeballing it, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna really do that. I'm not sure.
BioShock's a good time.
It is. I know it's one of the best critically acclaimed games of all time. But who knows? So we'll see what game I run through in the background, leading up to part 2 as well. But let's get right into it. So this week we did get a little look at a new trailer. Do I have the trailer pulled up? I'm gonna read the title of it. So it's on PlayStation's official YouTube. Not sure why it's not on Naughty Dog's. Guess it doesn't really matter, but it's on PlayStation's YouTube channel, and it's titled "The Last of Us Part 2: Inside the Story." So this was like a little bit of a mini documentary. It's only like 4 minutes long. Again, I am appreciating that they are just showing what they've already shown before, as we talked about last week. I definitely like how they're still keeping the bulk of the story under wraps, and I feel like they probably have to at this point, considering all the spoilers and everything. But did you get a chance to watch this trailer?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. So honestly, this is definitely, like I said, just like a developer commentary thing. There's nothing really that groundbreaking about it, but I did find some interesting like quotes and things that were brought up here. You know, like they even brought up the premise of like, hey, a lot of people were saying that why would you make a sequel to a game that has been renowned as like one of the best games of all time, right? And can perfectly stand by itself, you know. And they seem to double down like, hey, like we have a concept, we have a story that we wanted to tell, you know, and we just felt that it was a perfect fit, you know, to be a sequel in this world, right? So, so some interesting sentiments there, you know, and it seemed like a very just honest. You know, some quotes from Neil Druckmann, Anthony Newman, etc. So I thought it was pretty cool. I implore those that are being cautious like myself, as to not get spoiled on the game. There's not a lot of spoilers. You obviously do your due diligence and don't look at the comments, of course. But I thought it was I thought it was a pretty good trailer. I liked it. Very much so. So I mean, I guess I did want to ask you, like, as well as someone that has unfortunately succumbed to the Last of Us Part 2 spoilers, to not your own choice, to be fair. What, like, do you see like some truth in what I relayed from the trailer in terms of like this seems like a worthy story to tell even after the first game, right? In spite of, you know, again, Last of Us being called one of the greatest games of all time. Like, do you feel that like this story that you've heard so far is truly going to stand up to the original Last of Us, and it feels like a you know, worthy and thoughtful sequel to the game?
No.
No, because you're not alone. A lot of people have said that, and it's scaring me.
Like, they're like, I don't know, like, could a sequel fit organically? Yeah. But did it need to happen? The emphasis on the word need? Not particularly. Like, that doesn't mean that it's not worth the endeavor, like, whatsoever.
Right.
It's, but there are some things that, like, you could just leave as a single entry and it works fine. Like the movie Up, for example. Like some stories are just isolated stories. They don't need a sequel. They don't need an expanding universe. They're just a story, like a story that people want to tell, and that's it. But sometimes people like pump out sequels where they don't need to be. I don't believe this is that particular situation.
Right.
However, like if you told me Last of Us was just going to be a single entry, I would have been fine with it.
Right. Yeah. And like we can make assumptions and be like, you know, it could have very much well been like, you know, this is a story that they want to tell. This is a concept that they wanted to actually foresee, and it was like those at PlayStation being like, okay, like you're not just gonna make one of the greatest games of all time and not make a second one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Money always plays a little bit into these things.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I believe, like, even despite not 100% agreeing that it needed to be told, I don't believe money was a too heavy of a factor on deciding whether or not the sequel was going to be made.
Right.
So I still have, like, despite everything, like, I still have high hopes. I hope, like, the story I know for a fact will come along more organically than any leaks could possibly do, unless you leak the whole game. Mm-hmm. Like what happened to Half-Life 2 back in the day?
Right.
Like, unless you leak the whole game, like, I still have hope, because it's hard to assume a game, like, because if you read just the major plot points from any movie, like, it kind of sounds stupid.
Right. Like we keep bringing up in like this like spoiler talk, you know what I'm saying? Like if like there's a lot more to the whole picture. Like if you tell me, you know, like X thing happens in Endgame, right? Yeah. Like there's a lot more meaning when you watch the entire MCU and you watch all these movies back to back over the course of 10 years and you watch the entirety of Endgame. Like those moments hit different.
Yeah.
That's like definitely a you quote, actually.
Yeah.
This is different.
It's what I was gonna, like, movies like The Sixth Sense, like, if you just tell me the ending, it's like, well, that's stupid.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie, but like the whole point in any story that makes it a great story is the context and the rising actions and all the points that make it more organic than, like, it's like connect the dots, but instead of 2 dots you get 200 dots.
You're right. You're right.
So it makes a more clear picture.
You're right. Like, that's actually a brilliant way of putting it. Actually, wow, that was very poignant.
Thank you.
Wow, I actually love that. Yeah, like when you take spoilers face value, it's almost like you're taking one point and hooking them to another point, and that's it. When it's like, no, like there's a lot more to this, connect the dots than just.
There's nuance.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Well, would you look at that? Would you look at that? A great point that I'm an idiot and Arachknight is a lot more smarter than me.
Nah, dude, nah.
But yeah, I mean, I implore everyone to check it out. I am, still cross my fingers, hoping, up and down to whatever God might be out there, that we get a Last of Us Part 2 documentary in a similar vein how we got Raising Kratos. They did one for the original Last of Us, but I just hope that like it hasn't been affected, or maybe honestly it could be made better by these quarantine times. Like seeing like what if you're like, all right, cool guys, the documentary crew, we can't travel anymore at Neil, Anthony Newman, like anyone that wants to record anything that you feel is documentary worthy about this whole process working from home, do it, and we'll just put it up like as like the last third, let's say, of the documentary. Like I still hope that we do get a blown up version of this little video inside the story, and we get like a full on documentary for Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, that would, like, I love that. Like,
so
I don't
good.
know.
Yeah,
it's nice seeing people's thoughts on it when they make the game.
Did you watch Raising Kratos?
I did not. I've been meaning to.
Dude, it's so good. It's such a good documentary. It's so good. It's so good, dude. I really highly advise you to watch it for sure.
I will
at some point for sure. But yeah, check out the trailer. Link below in the description. Now pressing onwards onto our Last of Us recap series. Last week, if you missed it, it was the first episode of the recap series. We did cover the prologue, quarantine zone, and the outskirts for week 1 on episode 34 of Road to Part 2. And this week, episode 35, we are going over the second week of parts for the Last of Us recap series. This is being, of course, Billstown and Pittsburgh. Now, what that happened was, right? So I went on, IGN.com, a very formidable game site. I like them a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I went through their guide, and I saw that they split up the game into 5 different main sections for their guides, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, they split up into 5 parts for any particular reason, like it seems like 5 parts to Last of Us would be a very balanced division, Mm-hmm. So I just roll with it. So the first episode, I think it was like 2.5 hours was my stream for the first part. And then the this week's Billstown in Pittsburgh was almost a 4-hour long stream. So, so it was a very, very long section, So because now that I'm eyeballing it and looking at how long I think things are, I think week 4 is going to be long too, right? I think week 4 is going to be pretty long. Is week 3 going to even crack 2 hours? I don't think week 3 even... I don't think, man. I'm trying, like, I think next week we might be literally playing for only like an hour and a half. I think I don't even know.
Maybe.
Because I remember week 5 is definitely short. Week 5 is definitely not that long either. But we shall see. We've got a bloated part to play this week. Of course, going into Billstown and Pittsburgh. But I guess I'll ask you, surface level thoughts. How'd you feel about the section?
I really like Billstown, like as just like a narrative piece, like on, I don't know, just like characters like affected by the world, because we get the Fireflies, we get Joel and Ellie, but Bill feels kind of like an everyman that just survived and is cynical at this point because it's been 20 years. Like, if you told me that you wouldn't be cynical at the end of all this, like after 20 years of being in a pandemic like this, then you're lying.
Yeah. Like, especially when we end up, leaving Billstown and exiting, like Bill has a very like salient point on his like tragic kind of like past story about how he opens up about having his partner. Why am I forgetting his name? Shoot.
It's like Frank or something.
Frank. It is Frank. Thank you. Yeah. Like having Frank as his partner that bailed out on him essentially, and he has a sentiment like I need to be on my own. Like having attachments in this world is only gonna get you killed and all that. It just seems like it definitely is the takeaway that you would expect someone to have in this world.
Well, it's also like just what it hit me more than like all that, like the sentiment things, like Frank, like it's, oh yeah, he was my partner, and on the note, it's like the note was basically just like if forget my language, but it's like fuck you, Bill.
Literally, like here, I'm gonna try and pull it because I have the gameplay. I'm scrubbing through. I'm gonna try and read the note verbatim. Hold on. Okay, I'm almost here. I have it, guys. Hold on, because I really want to read it. Because
that would shatter me. That would shatter me.
It is a very sad. Because like you're right. Like he, called him his partner. All that. Like I cared a lot about him. And then we get this note, and it's like, yo, okay, actually, my camera's blocking it. Crap. So I saved the stream, to my hard drive, but not the raw gameplay.
Why don't you just look up the note like on like a guide?
That's precisely what I am doing. All right, here we go. Well, Bill, I doubt you'd ever find this note because you were too scared to ever make it to this part of town. But if for some reason you did, I want you to know I hated your guts. I grew tired of this shitty town and of your set in your ways attitude. I wanted more from life than this, and you can never get that. And that stupid battery you kept moaning about, I got it. But I guess you were right. Trying to leave this town will kill me. Still better than spending another day with you. Good luck, Frank.
Jesus.
That's dark, man. That is dark. That is, and like it explains right there that, yeah, like Frank was, Bill's partner. And it does raise the question, like, is it one of those one-sided things that I'm sure me and you have been into, in our lives, right? With the opposite sex, if you will, with any like romantic feelings for someone else, where it's like, was it like, do you think it was a one-way reciprocation the whole time?
Or... probably like from the way that it sounds, like I hated your guts the whole time.
Right.
It's probably just like, oh, I'm too scared to leave and I can't survive without you, so I'm going to pretend to like you in order to survive. So, personally, like I've never been in like a one-sided thing because I've luckily always just gotten shot down like a fighter jet. Like,
it's like you mean like an AC-130 and Model 2?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Oh god.
Anytime it's like, yo, it's like, I'm interested in you. Like, what's up? A lot of the time it would be like, hey, who are you? It's like, damn, okay.
Who?
It's like,
Tragedy.
So it's like, whatever. And so I've luckily never been in that. Like I would much rather be shot down, like completely dunked on, than pretended to be like it's, oh yeah, like, oh, I really care about you, and they don't. It's like, I would rather get dunked on than that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do admire, Frank's honesty in this letter, because he could have easily consoled then living Bill, because it seems like he wrote this and got bit while he was getting the battery for sure. So yeah. So it seems like he knew that, all right, like this is it, and maybe that's why of course that's why he hung himself,
Yeah.
But he like could have offered Bill this forever fake facade that he truly cared about Bill, but he didn't. He just gave it to him real, so. Yeah, you got. I mean, at least I give him bonus points, kind of sort of, for that, kind of sort of. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's like yes and no on the points on that, because it's like it's still kind of cowardly, still kind of trashy. It's like, oh yeah, like because Bill, like it was like, from what I interpreted, it was like a romantic thing.
Right. Yeah. I believe so too. Yeah. Yeah.
So it sucks because we don't know how long they were partners for. At least I can't specifically recall from the top of my head. But it was at least a somewhat significant like length of time, and that amount of time is just like, oh, I care about you. There might have been romantic reciprocation, and then you read the letter. It's like, hey, I was only ever with you for your money. Like, Frank was a gold digger. Except for like guns.
A gun digger.
I don't like how that phrasing goes.
Gun digger. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm trying to see, because he does, and by he I mean oh my god, Bill does say that, like, hey, like, a few weeks ago, whatever, a few months ago, like this car battery this truck crashed in there. So I'm trying to find it, but okay. Oh, it's fine. Not a big deal. But yeah, like, definitely seems like they were together for a while, seemingly. And honestly, like, I do love the prospect of like having a post-apocalyptic game and meeting a character that has completely just taken over a town. Like it's literally called Bill's Town. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it seems like he wasn't some sort of like, political, person or like mayor of this town. Like, it seems like he was just a dude. Yeah, a dude that either I'm not sure if it's told that he lived here back when it was normal, the world, but it is cool that he just claims this town and seemingly lives on his own. He has booby traps and everything. I just thought that was a really, really cool concept to have a character like that with Bill. And yeah. Bill and Joel apparently have history as well. I would love to know why Bill owed Joel, that's never said, and I would have to assume that it has to be a big thing, because why else would Bill, I mean, he always wanted to get the car battery, right? And so seeing that he now has Joel and Ellie to assist him with that, right? It like makes sense that, okay, like, let's just do it because he wants a battery. But to do it, to solely give it up for Joel, right? Like this really sought after thing that he wanted all the way across town. Like, it seems like it was something big that healed Joel. Yeah. And I'd love to know that backstory, Just like how big are we talking,
Like they never really like discussed it anywhere from the extent of my memory. Like, it was just very vague, but I don't know. Not everything needs to be explained.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But it leaves interpretation, and it instigates exploration in the lore and all that for people to try and figure it out, like based on Joel and Bill's character. And since Bill knew Tess, it might have been like a trade thing. Like, I don't know, like like the world is better off with a little mystery.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and like, I just commend Joel for being so strong during Bill's Town, in terms of like whenever Bill would like, especially when like Bill said, like, fuck her, to like about Tess, and Joel for whatever reasons, doesn't want to tell Bill that she's dead, like, yeah. And just hearing, Bill I don't feel like he was intentionally like disrespecting Tess, but just like in like a playful, like, oh, like, when we tell our friends,
not here.
Exactly, yeah, like, oh, she's not here, like, yo, like, fuck her, what I'm saying, like
fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. But like, God, that means that had to have hurt Joel in so many ways.
Yeah.
God. And like Frank, like, not Frank. Bill telling Joel, oh, why would Tess pick up this job? Like, like, just that had to have hurt. And then at the end we see that, oh man, like, Bill is also mourning the death of of
someone
that he cared about. Yeah, and I thought in that moment that Joel was just gonna end up just telling Bill like, hey, like I lost Tess too, you know, but
yeah, Joel's not really the most sympathetic of characters.
Yeah.
Like, he like, I don't know. It's like, oh, you're struggling, I'm struggling too. Like, who cares?
Right.
To live is to suffer kind of mentality. At least I assume.
Endure and survive, which we hear later on in this segment.
Endure and survive.
Yeah. Endure and survive. But wait, we gotta give a big shout out to Ellie during this whole, because Ellie and Bill's banter back and forth is fucking hilarious.
It's fun. Yeah,
it is fun. So funny. Forgive me, and I mean mainly me personally, because I'm let's bring this up, but like forgive my age, 22, you know what I'm saying? Shout out the year 1998, right? But do you get that reference of what Bill called Ellie when she was touching oh my god, what was it? I think it was when you go up to the chess pieces when we stopped that first encounter with Bill of trying to get away from that booby trap where Joel was stuck upside down and everything. When you get to the bar type of area, oh my god, what did Bill call Ellie? Bill called Ellie like some like humorous name, like Bobby something.
Shmurda.
Bobby Shmurda. Here, I'm gonna try and find it because I want to know if you understood that reference, because I definitely didn't. Okay, it's somewhere.
I can't remember what it's called, but if you like run it by me, I probably won't know.
Bobby Fischer.
I feel like I've heard that.
Right? He's like, hey, Bobby Fischer, don't touch my shit. Here, I'm gonna look it up. Just for fun. Bobby Fischer. Oh, Bobby Fischer is a chess grandmaster.
Oh yeah, Tobey Maguire played him.
Interesting. Okay. So he was a famous chess player. It looks like.
Yeah, I think Tobey Maguire played him in a movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Tobey. Oh, yep. So far, Google has said, and yes, you are right. In the movie Pawn Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's a reference that he was making. All right.
Yeah, I love chess. Like what?
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm dumb.
I see that. All right. I thought that was like a redhead joke, like some like famous redhead from back in the day. I don't know, but. So eventually, dang, there's so much we're missing here. So of course, the main objective of Bill's town is to achieve a car, right? Bill says, all right, in order to get this car, I obviously don't have one that works, so we're gonna go to this abandoned military truck that crashed into the side of a high school, Lincoln High School, and we're gonna grab its car battery, and we're gonna put it in one of our cars, and you're gonna be on your way, right? So, they go to the school. It's our first encounter with the bloater. How'd you feel about the bloater?
Easy.
So I took it down with the quickness last night because shout out to the homie Owen, a fan of the series, fan of the streams, although it's a fan of the channel. Owen gave me a very pro tip, and that's that if you shoot the bloater's left foot, or if you're looking at the bloater from a player's perspective, it's right foot, like the foot on the right, if he's coming at you, right? If you shoot it 3 times with the revolver in that foot, it'll go down instantly. And I did it on stream and it worked. I totally thought that he was kidding, but it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Like, there are a lot of like little tips around like The Last of Us that really help.
Yeah.
Like later in a later segment with Sam and Henry, like with shooting the light out in that stealth section with the bow and arrow. Yeah, but unfortunately, no arrows.
I did have no arrows on my playthrough, unfortunately. Hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
But now, I mean, like, at least the blowers aren't really that bad, except those long range attacks when they rip off a spore ball or whatever it is off their body and throw it at you. So yeah, and that's such a cool effect too. That like plume of like orange and particles. It looks
the cool. Particle effect.
Yeah, it's a really really neat effect. It looks really really cool. It's a very very distinct, like very very cool type of effect.
Like Last of Us kind of effect.
Definitely, for sure. But even like going through the high school, the abandoned high school was super creepy, super creepy. You know, I loved the setting of like going to a high school, you know, and then later on we go to a university as well, you know, so that's even pretty cool as well. But overall, you know, we get the information that all right, the car battery is not in the truck where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, someone took it.
Yep. So after the blower fight, we go to a random house. We see someone hanging. It was Frank, as Bill says that okay, no one wears stupid shirts like that except Frank. And then Ellie finds in the garage the car battery that was in the military truck, in like a regular like schmegular like Ford F-150 looking truck, you know. So they do this really cool sequence where they're pushing the truck, trying to get it to recharge the battery via the alternator, I believe. I think if I am not speaking
cars.
Yeah, wheels, they move forward when you press a pedal. That's about all I got. And then change your oil, you know. that's about the extent.
I don't even know how to change the oil.
I mean, I just go and do it. I used to do it with my dad, and it's like, you know, this is like a lot of labor when I could just pay a cool like what, $80 every like what 2-3 months, you know, to just have someone do it for me, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out to people that, you know, change your own
know how to do that.
precisely. But us
could not be me.
Could unequivocally not be me as well. So there's a really cool sequence when like we have to push the truck to get the alternator to charge the battery, and like there's, you know, some infected attacking us from each sides. Pretty cool stuff right there. And then we end up on our way. Bill makes it very permanent that all right, we're square. Get the fuck out of my town. Yeah. So we're on our way. There's a funny little exchange in the middle of this whole section where we have Ellie stole a male adult magazine. Yeah. From
the joke was funny.
Yeah, very very funny. Yeah. Why these pages are sticky? Like, and they weren't even sticky. So like it just shows that like Ellie can definitely like crack jokes and really like hang with the older, you know, people of this world in a way, you know, like she's only 14, like she just has like a very like mature sense of humor, you know, for being a 14-year-old, you know. Just definitely shows, just like it definitely shows a lot of like personality with that.
Yeah, this stream really just showed that like Ellie is a real one.
Yeah. Oh, facts. Absolutely. There's so many instances of Ellie being like a real. Oh my God, there's so many. Especially after this point. Oh my God, there's so many.
Yeah.
But we roll up, right? We honestly probably one of my favorite sequences of all Last of Us. So we get this fake straggler who's acting like he's injured. You know.
Oh yeah, that part's cool.
Yeah. Joel's like, "Buckle up your seatbelt." This guy is lying. He is frauding. So Joel floors it. They crash into this whole grocery store thing, and when they're in there, right, like when you get out, you do a whole combat sequence trying to defeat all these guys that were in that group, but the radio's still going in the truck. I just thought that was like such a cool touch. You know, it's like super small, but it just adds, I feel like so much to the scene, and so much so much continuity from the cutscene to the actual gameplay, and it was such a cool like moment.
Cool detail.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I loved it. It was such a cool detail, such a cool sequence. We go in. How'd you feel about these like this side of the pandemic as well? Like people that are willing to fake, you know, them needing help to their advantage.
Realistic. People, I know for a fact people would do that.
I know a few people in my life that would definitely do that for sure.
Sure. And like it's scummy, but these are scumbags. That's what they do.
Very true.
Like, so I don't know. I like I said in the stream last night, I appreciate boldness. So when Joel was like put on your seatbelt. It's like, yeah, like yeah. Like I thought that was cool. I don't know. I love it when characters do bold things because it's just cool. Like it's cool to see them take initiative in a world where you need initiative.
Right.
Like Joel's like, yeah, just run him over. Just do it. And Ellie's like, oh, he's injured. Is like, do it.
It's like, no, he's not. Yeah, I love it. Like in this whole sequence, right? It really does show that. All right, number one, Ellie's a real one, right? And then Joel is just the coolest.
Yeah, like alive. Super hardened, like
so cool.
Like no fucks.
Absolutely none. Not one in sight.
Not one in sight. No cap.
No.
Joe would run that man over.
Oh, like, fags. Oh, factual.
He wouldn't even stop.
And then we get into it, and from what I can tell, these types of groups, right? Yeah. It seems like they work for a boss, which I think later on it comes. I'm pretty sure they're talking about David, right?
Yeah, these are cannibals.
Yes, yeah, because we see them burning bodies. Some of that haven't even turned. We see them, when we get into the garage church,
like a list.
Yeah, there's a list of like what they scavenge. So like they're like looking for shoes. They're looking for good kept clothing. You know, they're and then they're eating them.
Yeah,
which is damn.
Fuck.
Like they have an interesting supply chain going on. You know, and they have a interesting thing that they got going on. You know, so
like. Cannibals are on site. Like it's on site.
For real. It's scary. Cause like it's like, man, like, cause you gotta think like in like Last of Us, right? Like how do you make fighting humans as like terrifying than infected?
In part 2, the Seraphites seem like they're gonna be even more intense.
And especially like even taking this, like, yep, they definitely accomplished that. These people are very terrifying, for sure. Absolutely,
it's on site.
It is definitely on site. But then what I also loved is that Ellie's asking Joel like, hey, like how did you know that like he was faking it? And he's like, well, like I've been on both sides.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, ooh, all right. And then that's when Ellie's like, oh man, like you
an asshole.
Yeah, like you weren't always the best of people, huh, Joel? Like you like did a lot of things in that 20-year gap. A lot. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Go ahead.
What I like and don't like, I like it because it makes it like it's good writing. But it's just like we play as Joel, we like Joel, but Joel sucks.
Oh, by the end, we're gonna have a whole conversation on like, is Joel the protagonist or anti? Because, dude, like you could take any of those away from Joel. Like you could have a takeaway of any of those, and you're probably right on both standpoints. Yeah. Like Joel is such a gray area character, 100%.
Yeah, like Joel sucks.
Yeah. Joel is not. Yeah, he's not.
He's not a good guy.
Definitely, he's not. He's definitely not. So we continue to push forward. We're still heading towards the Pittsburg Bridge, right? I believe that will take us out of the city. So we go through. We see some locations that are definitely much from. At least what I'm remembering most familiar with is these factions maps. We go through a lot of them actually during the sequence, which is really cool to see. Some of them are made like one for one. There are some changes in the layout, and there's also like that part where they mix like two maps together. Where, well, obviously like the main game is the main game, so they took two different segments of like I'm forgetting the map names, so please forgive me. But do you know the library?
Yes.
Okay, so there's the library, right? But then outside, it has the quarantine zone terminal, right? Like where like the quarantine checkpoint type thing, and that is on a whole different map in factions. In the library, it's its own different map in factions as well. So it was cool, like seeing like where they mix and match different assets from the story to make factions mode. It was pretty cool to see that there. But yeah, like this is our first section where we're fighting real enemies, that aren't military. So really cool to see that there. And like what's really poignant too is that even when you engage in combat with them, There's like, I think it's always the last guy in the group that's like, yo, please don't kill me, like begging for his life, you know. And they just add a lot of like realism to the enemy AI that I definitely appreciate, you know.
Like
It's cool.
I don't know, like I there was an article recently on part 2 where it's like, oh, we gave every enemy a name so you would feel bad killing them.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, like how I personally feel about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I just see it as like an evolution to this system of like where enemies, you know, are like they like go beyond the like classic, you know,
Thug 1, Thug 2.
Yeah, like the unnamed militant X or whatever. Like they like there's personality when like the last person in the group when he realizes that, yo, it's just me here. Like I want to save myself, you know.
Yeah, like anybody I was loyal to is already dead.
Yeah, like I have no loyalty anymore except for myself, you know, like in my life, right? So like I think it's just an evolution of that where like we're gonna have like, you know, I think like even the dogs have names too. So like when you kill a dog, like, oh my god, you killed Clifford the big red dog, like how dare you, you know, like all that. Shout out Clifford.
You're next.
Rip and tear.
Rip and tear.
Oh, and then here also scattered throughout this section as well, we see the Savage Starlight stuff too. We see comics, we see posters in a bunch of different sections of this part of the game, which is very, very relevant, I feel like, because that's the rumored new sci-fi game that Naughty Dog will work on next. So love to see a little bit of that, and hopefully it happens. I would love for it to happen at someday because I think it's a really cool concept. But we go into the Pittsburg city, like the main downtown city, where we get a little bit more exposition on, like, you know, Joel loving coffee back in the day, missing coffee. I can definitely, you know, feel him on that for sure as a avid coffee drinker, you know. And it's cool.
I'm not a huge fan.
You hate to see it.
Luckily, like whenever I get up in the morning, like a good chunk of the time, like I'm just good to go. Like I don't necessarily need coffee in order to like get through the day. Sometimes I'll like have like one of those like V8s, like those like I if I'm gonna have any caffeine, I want to try and keep it like as, you know, non-toxic for my body as possible.
Right.
So, like, sometimes like I'll indulge in a Kickstart. Kickstarts are fun.
If it makes you feel any better, you know, I don't drink soda. You know, I don't drink juice. You know what I'm saying? And like I primarily really like the only beverages I honestly drink, unless it's like, you know, a glass of wine. You know, because, you know, I gotta have a glass of wine. You know what I'm saying? But like, or if I'm going out to the club, you know, give me that tequila right now, right? Yeah. But like besides those two, my main consumptions of beverage are just coffee and water. So if I could add any salient point, maybe it's offsetting my, like, you know, the fact that like the only like consistent quote unquote like bad thing I'm drinking is coffee, you know. Maybe it kind of belittles the negative effects, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. But I digress. I'm with Joel. Coffee's amazing. But it's also cool like to hear Ellie saying that, oh, like you guys like would go to like shops to just drink coffee, like to just, you know, like it's so alien to her. And I love that.
I love that contrast.
Very, very cool. And then we were moving on to the hotel, which famously was the E3 gameplay demo for Last of Us. Those that were around remember that. Very, very impressive stuff. Not really much to talk about here. Just, you know, them fighting this group in the hotel, whatever, until we get to the hotel basement, where Joel gets separated from Ellie for a little while. Very, very terrifying. Very, very segment. And honestly, a segment that I thought was a lot longer before I played it last night, you know?
Yeah, I think it's because we've gotten better at games as we've gotten older.
Perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. But yeah, definitely.
Like, it took me forever as a kid. And then like when I replayed it, it's like, oh, okay, you just walk down here, you find the card, and you walk back to the door, fight a few infected, and then you're gone.
Definitely, it's definitely not as daunting as I thought it was gonna be, but pretty cool to play through that again. You know, we get another bloater there too. Pretty cool to see that. And then we're making our way back to Ellie after doing the basement, and we almost die. We come very close to dying. Ellie saves us, and this is where we start to see like Ellie and Joel just have a little bit of friction in terms of like, yo, like I straight saved you, Joel. Like you're not even gonna thank me, you know? And Joel just hung up on the, hey, you like disobey my orders, you know?
Yeah.
Which, yeah. At the time, I'm like, dude, you know. And eventually, he does make up for it, right? He does make up for it and make sure that, you know, he has his own like unique way of apologizing, you know, where we will get to that, right? So we go from there, and then we go into this really, really cool like I don't know what to call it, like dining hall type of setting, right? Where there's a piano there, a stage. Seems like there was like some fancy like dinners happening, like there was some fancy dinners having here, whatever, you know. And if you know as well, working in the food industry, there's some chafing dishes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I have some battle scars from that. Oh god.
Yeah.
I was like, oof, yikes.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
I was like, heck yeah, all right, cool, you know. And then we go upstairs, and then we go out onto the ledge where there's a middle courtyard, and honestly, one of my favorite cutscenes in the game. You know, like Joel finally giving me all right, listen, like you're gonna make every shot count here, and by the way, just so we're clear, you know, it was him or me back there. His way of saying thank you to Ellie for like saving him the first time, and so we finally get, you know, and it was cool. Like Ellie was like, yeah, like I've like kind of shot rifle before, you know, like a BB gun at rats, you know.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, now you're in the big leagues. Yeah,
definitely. But I thought that was a whole cool like sentiment there of Joel like being like, all right, like we're not gonna make it without, like I'm not gonna make it without her help, you know.
Yeah, like working together.
Yeah, so that was a really cool moment there, like another like stepping stone into like seeing them grow more towards each other and like growing to trust each other, you know. So that whole segment, not much there to talk about. They just go through a whole combat zone. We continue to go on. Not really much here to talk about, other than just there again trying to get towards the bridge. You know, nothing really that cool. Did you see the Dawn of the Wolf Easter eggs that were making fun of Twilight? Good stuff. You know, very, very good stuff. And then we meet Henry and Sam. What are your thoughts on Henry and Sam?
I thought it was funny how like Joel has a gun on him. Like he is like they're like aiming a gun at him. Is like stop hitting him. And Joel, as he's standing up, just hits him again.
Like those little things make, I feel like, Last of Us so great. Like that's such a good way to convey like, number one, how probably pepped up of like adrenaline Joel was on, you know, and just like also maybe like slightly, you know, like very, very slow way of like keeping it straight, like I can kill you.
Yeah, it's
and,
like
yeah.
The thing that like what we laughed at is like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, you hit hard. I don't think Joel was on, like Joel's been doing this like same thing for 20 years. Like he's killed a lot of people. So it's I feel like this was just another body for Joel.
Yeah. Oh, that's really a good point too. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Like he knew, like he was hitting the ribs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like he knew where to hit and how to hit. Like hitting the head is hard, like harder. It's more effective, but it's harder. If you hit the ribs, like if you're in a fight, you're supposed to hit the ribs because it knocks the air out of, like, so they can't fight back. So Joel knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he was wailing on.
It is very salient too, that what you just kind of like alluded to is that like this enemy was literally just another in Joel's path in his mind temporarily, you know?
Yeah. It's just like, I'll kill him and then we'll get through the building.
And it's almost reciprocated the same way, because when Henry sees Ellie, he's like, whoa, what? Like, what is that? You know, like, you know?
Yeah, they both like stop. It's like, you have a kid.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, like
as good as you can be.
Right, like we're not one of like the scavengers under David. Like we're not, you know,
the cannibals.
Yeah, cannibal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I thought that was they both had the moment of like, oh man, like wait, no, we're
different.
We're definitely on the same side here. We're definitely not enemies to each other. Yeah, that was cool. And then Sam and Ellie having nice little banter was really, really cool to see too. You know, them being in the same age group for the most part.
And Sam like having like little hints of a baby crush.
Yo, Sam is trying to get it, and I commend him for that. Let's go, yo, my little boy Sam. He out here definitely. You know, have a little something. You know, love to see that. Love to see that. You know, and that's really cool. Like, you're right. Like having like a teenage fever, teenage crush type of thing. You know, it was nice to get a little glimpse of that and like see that.
And like I can understand it. It's like, oh, it's not like, oh, just instantly kind of deal. It's like they talk and they banter. Like if I would like back at that age, like if I was like 13 and I met a girl like Ellie, I'd probably have a crush on her too. She's cool.
Yeah, or just even like even not even talking from like a crush somebody, but just like someone that's my age and that I can relate to more.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, like I can't relate to clickers. I can't relate to infected. I can't relate to people that want to eat me because I'm human. I can't relate to, you know, older adults in my life. Especially my brother, who's trying, you know, like he's my brother, but we don't relate from like an age standpoint, you know.
Yeah, different world kind of deal.
Exactly. Yeah. And last night I did catch that famous Easter egg of Ellie taking the toy for Sam, which we will get to probably I think next week. No, definitely next week.
Definitely next week.
Yeah, because Ellie doesn't pick it up unless you look away from her.
So that's why you gotta look at her the entire time you're walking out of the room.
Is there a way that you can do it?
No, I doubt it.
No, because I bet she would just stay there and wait till you could leave the room.
Yeah, she would wait.
Right. Yeah. Interesting stuff there. So I did see your crouch though and get it. I did not like pick it up, but I saw her in her crouch animation.
The end of the animation. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So we keep it going. Let's explain why Henry and Sam are there. They had an original group there. They were scavenging for supplies, and then the military came in and I believe wiped out a big group of them, but he can't be for sure that they're all dead.
Yeah.
But the next morning they have a rendezvous point outside of Pittsburg that they were all supposed to meet at if something were to happen. So Henry's like, all right, Joel, if you're down, you seem to be very skilled. You seem to be a worthy asset to helping us get out of here alive. So if you want, you can come with us. Joel says, cool. And then they wait till nightfall, and we get to the last portion of this week's gameplay. We're fighting the night. We're trying to get past fireflies. We do so successfully, you know, as they have like a skeleton type of crew watching the gate into Pittsburgh. And then we get a very interesting point where, I forget. Wait, what was the first time where Ellie was a real one?
When she jumped down, like, when they were trying to like get the like when the ladder broke, like on top of the truck.
Yeah, I remember that's the second time, but there was another time I wanted to bring up where she was a real one. Shoot, I forgot. Was it just for saving Joel? I think that might have been why, but I forgot the other point. Oh, I forgot.
From what I remember, I think the truck one was where we were like, because it was the truck and the bridge.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Is there one more than that?
I think there was one before that, but while I forgot that point, it's fine. But the second example that we're at right now, what is such like it shows like that like little action. Well, it's not even a little action. Like Ellie literally, she could have been completely safe with Sam and Henry, because so the ladder breaks as Arachknight said before, you know, and Joel is still on the ground while Sam, Henry, and Ellie are up on the truck. They're trying to escape the impending stragglers that were trying to get at them and kill them. But Ellie jumps down and is like, "Nah, I'm with you. Like, it's me and you." And I'm like, "Dang, that's real," you know. I was like, wow.
I really like that.
Yeah. Like it's like clear how you see them grow closer to each other. You know,
right?
Like it is. That is not as small. Like she could have. They both could have died right there, straight up. You know?
Yeah. No. Like if they got through that gate a second longer, if Ellie hesitated for like a second longer, that's it. That's a wrap.
Yeah. So it definitely shows how real Ellie is. And then honestly, another real moment. So they are trying to, they fight their way past the point, even though they have a lot of people coming at them. They get to the bridge finally, but the Pittsburgh bridge has fallen. It's not intact. And Joel says, Ellie says, "Let's just jump." And Joel's like, "Yo, you can't swim." So, like, no, And then
she does it anyway.
Yeah, Ellie's, "Screw it. There's no time. Let's go." And Ellie jumps, the first one to jump at that, where she can't swim. Like, yo. And like Ellie, like I think says like right before she jumps, like, "Hey, like you'll
keep me afloat.
Yeah.
So get down here."
And it's like not even like an ask. It's like, I don't know if that was like her way of asking or a way of her truly feeling like, no, like Joel you will protect me. I know that.
Well, it's like it felt to me. It's like, "You'll keep me afloat" is like you said, it's a statement,
right?
So It's like, "Oh, you'll keep me afloat," and then jumps, and so Joel is like, "Oh, great, now I have to."
Yeah.
Or
like,
she's dead.
Yeah, they definitely grow a lot in Pittsburgh. They like definitely grow closer together a lot in Pittsburgh. Like it's very apparent, that they really start to grow together. And then unfortunately, as we're going down the rushing water, a rock knocks out Joel seemingly. And then we wake up on the beachfront, Sam and Henry. Joel is obviously really mad at Henry for that. And then Henry pulls the card like, "Hey, you wouldn't have opened your eyes if it weren't for me." So,
or even.
Yeah, we're even. Yeah. So, yep. And then that's where this week ended. Overall, a great chunk of the game. Great chunk of the game. Yeah.
It's very memorable, like Billstown especially.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of like really, really cool like iconic Last of Us scenes here where I think the first one we encounter is Joel hanging upside down via Bill's booby traps.
Yeah.
I think that's really iconic. There's obviously Joel and Ellie fighting in like the marketplace after they crash from the stragglers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really cool. There's just a lot of really the hotel basement, of course. The whole hotel sequence is really cool. There's a lot. It was a very, very good section. Very, very good part. And we're really starting to get into the nitty gritty of Last of Us. Like we're getting into that meaty midsection. It's very cool. It's very, very good.
I'm excited to play the rest of the game.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. But yeah. So that was that. That was Billstown, Pittsburgh. Any last sentiments you want to give about this section before we head out?
No, I think we covered everything pretty well. Like I'm excited to play the rest of the game. Like this really is just reminding me like why we have this podcast, like why it's so significant to us.
Yeah.
Because it's not only is it fun, but it's like it's very like memorable and almost in a way nostalgic.
Right.
Like it's fun to go back and explore these segments. Like I played the game when I was 13. I played the game again when I was 15, then 17, now 20. And it's cool to see how my perception of the story reflects my developments as a person.
I see.
Like because I went from just a kid, like barely a teenager, and playing it. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. I like killing zombies. And 15, I was like, wow, I kind of get Ellie's points. Like Joel's kind of a dick in the beginning. Like teenager is like angst. 17, like more of an adult. Now as a 20-year-old, like beginning to be an adult, like I can understand like a lot more of the nuances and those small like intricate details in everybody's characters that makes them so dynamic and diverse.
Right.
Like Henry and Sam, I can understand more. Joel's grief towards Sarah, I can more like definitely understand more clearly. Like Ellie's perceptions, because I've gone through all that. Like it's interesting going through some of your favorite pieces of media as you develop as a human being, and your personality develops and your morals develop. And like when I was younger, like talking about the detail we talked about a little bit earlier about Joel being on both sides of pretending to be injured. As a kid, is like, who cares? Like you're doing what it takes to survive. Or 15-year-old me is like, that's smart. And now as an adult with more reinforced morals, is like, wow, that's kind of deplorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Joel's a dick.
Like no, no, definitely, 100%. Like yeah, that definitely, as what you would say, hit different as a 22-year-old. Like, oh no, like that's not just like, because like as a kid, I feel like I took it as like, oh, like Joel has seen that, like he's experienced, but it's like, no, like you're an asshole. Like, yo, like what are you talking about? And like even on that point, like Ellie's like, well, like it seems like you killed a lot of innocent people then, and he just doesn't answer the question,
Yeah, because he has.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, like oof, Joel is definitely a lot more gray. Yeah, definitely as I age and look back on this media, it's definitely showing that like Joel is 100% a gray character.
Yeah, he's not a hero.
Definitely
not in any sense of the word.
Definitely not. Which is cool, because I think that's what makes Last of Us so unique in like a storytelling perspective and like from a game perspective too. Like it's really cool. Really cool. I think for me, this is of course a very, very great section of Last of Us. You start to unravel and see the world from different points of view, from where we start off with, from the prologue, seeing how it happens, or seeing like the first hours of it happening, and the quarantine zone, and seeing how they are like operate as a society in the quarantine zone and the outskirts under like very like militant protection and like rations and stuff like that, and like going out and seeing like, Ellie makes a comment about like, oh, like wait, people never didn't get rations where we're from, and Joel's like, yeah, like no, that happened a lot, and like Joel like telling her about how like, yeah, like sometimes in an effort to save the living population, they would start to just kill off people, because dead can't turn into infected. Like it's like seeing how the world changed because of the course of the virus, like in this game as an older gentleman, like it's just so interesting, very, very cool, very, very cool. And yeah, and I definitely can't wait to get to more of the game.
The end of summer is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of good Last of Us to get through still. Like we still have a lot to go. And if you guys want to follow us on the stream series, every Wednesday on the channel, we are streaming that week segment. So this past week we just did Bill's Town Pittsburgh, and coming up on the week after you're watching this episode on next week's Road to Part 2. I just confused myself with the dates, but next week's episode will cover, of course, the suburbs and Tommy's Dam next week. And if you do not have the game for some reason, if you missed that PS Plus month where we got Last of Us Remastered, you can, of course, tune in youtube.com/PlayStationSource to watch a live stream on Wednesday nights of that given section. But before we head out, Arachknight, where can people find you?
I'm always on the PlayStation Source Discord. We're all there. We're all talking about games we're playing, like anything you could ever want to talk about games. Like most time, like 99% of the time, we keep it just games. But like, feel free like to vent if you need it. Like we're all there. We all care about everybody in the Discord, so like hop in, like de-stress. Like it's fun. It's fun to talk. Like it's fun to talk to people with similar passions.
Yes.
So that's why I love going into the Discord, because like I could say like some niche like nerd shit and somebody will get it.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And it's fun. It's a lot of fun to like go in there. It's like, oh yeah, playing Resident Evil 3, and then you'll have Chris and Owen hop in. And it's like, yeah, Code Veronica. It's like, yeah, thank you, finally.
Like-minded people, finally.
Yeah, like-minded people. So if I'm there under the same name, I'm very active. You can find me on the Discord. I'm on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description. But if not, it's Orly_Macias, where I talk about video games and movies and all that. I don't know. If you ever want to talk about anything, like I'm free to talk. Like with quarantine, like I'm not doing much else other than homework.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, no. If you like comic books and all that, like comics, movies, games, like I love talking about that. I retweet a lot of stuff like that. So, especially Spider-Man and Daredevil. Like if you like those two, like feel free to hop in the Discord or like follow me on Twitter.
Well, of course, they can find those links easier down below in the description, as well as while you're down there, check out our Twitter at PSourceVids, as well as what Arachknight just detailed, our lovely Discord server down below in the description. In case there's a clown that has watched this whole episode. If you're a clown and want to spoil part 2, you will get clowned on. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
in the Discord, like we will order 66 you digitally. You know what I'm saying?
Like that Persona 5 like all out attack.
Yeah, actually,
it's like okay, like just a quick thing, just a quick disclaimer. You gain nothing. Like you project that misery onto others. So my diplomatic response is consider other people. There's really no point. Like a good chunk of us have already seen the spoilers. Like it's annoying. Like it doesn't help anybody. My non-diplomatic as a human being, just like fuck off. Like dude, like go somewhere else. Like it doesn't matter. Like if you're gonna go, if you're gonna go in and try and ruin people's experience because you think it's funny or you think it's like, oh look at I love making people angry. It's like, wow, 8th grade ended a long time ago, probably. Like
hopefully for you.
Yeah, hopefully for you, get a better sense of humor.
Tell them what's good. So of course, join that Discord if you're not a clown.
Yeah, none of that here. None of that here.
Not in this Christian Minecraft server. Okay? Not in this one. And of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a like on the podcast, as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Shorts to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Also down below, you can find our Anchor link if you want to listen to this podcast in an audio format. You can get that link down below in the description, where we're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Spotify, etc., or just search up PlayStation Source podcast feed. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for listening. Much love, much appreciation for the support, and definitely if you guys are early and haven't got on the recap series, there is still plenty of time for you to jump on as we
still got a while.
Oh yeah, as we march towards The Last of Us Part 2. Thank you all for watching. And as always, greatness awaits.
awaits.
See you guys later.
Have a good night.